Hello, welcome back again. After staying out the other night with the Bergen as I packed it the way I did, I've improved it in a few ways. So what I thought I'd do is go over how I'm going to unpack it now, because I've got a few repairs to do on the strap. So in unpacking it, I'll make it able so I can work on it, and I'll go through with you how I've changed it now, some of my improvements have worked. We'll see in a minute. Now what I thought I'd start with is my little front pouch, because that went up. There's my pet water bowl. I've got a bit more paracord in there. So what I've done to my motor is the paracord kept riding down because the sheath tapers. So I put a massive bolster of gaffer tape or duct tape on there. The tape would be that big, so I've torn it in half and just bundled it that way so that the paracord doesn't slip round. I've moved the ranger bands up. There's my compass, flint striker, and a little wurzel underneath. So basically the whole thing's gathered and puckered up that way. So that's one improvement on my motor, if that's any help to anybody. Now, you're familiar with this shaker torch or wanker torch. The metal block shoots up and down inside there with rubber bouncers, and that magnetised lump goes through a coil of wire and allows the little button cell up in there to get charged. So it's a pretty handy little torch, but I've added another one to it. It's got a little carabiner on there. So I've got two torches now. Usual. Dave Canterbury, one is none, two is one, and all that. And that's it. I'll get onto the rest of my pack and I'll show you what I've hopefully improved. Now once we're up and inside, the first thing I've got to hold of is I've literally got a brand new set of 7mm paracord. I find this is easier for me with my daft hands to do the ridge line and even guy lines. I was doing it with thicker stuff. I much prefer it than the thin. So I've just hurled that in for $3.99 I think it was. I've got a massive lump of paracord in there, but a fixed version. The pack's the same. Still got the same loadout of tools. There's my Ontario, which that's all I used the whole weekend. There you go, still to be cleaned up. I also took the Bergen machete in cold steel, but I didn't actually take it, use it. The Ontario was more than enough on its own. Cheap, I think that was $3.99 from Tool Spot or Tool Station, £4. Does the job. The main change I've done is, as I was trying to stuff and ram everything down inside, the blanket was inefficient in terms of how much room it was taking up. So what I've added is some cheap luggage straps, and I've got my blanket down to a much more manageable size. So instead of it taking up, I imagine, nearly a third of the bottom of the pack, this now goes down like that, and my small sleeping bag underneath me tarp and my stove, my small sleeping bag, instead of being vertical, is now horizontal. So I'm gaining about that much space, which the stove then goes into, and the whole loadout basically ends up about 50mm lower, just because I've wrapped that up really tight and bundled it up with a luggage strap. Now these things are in sort of a black spur range, real cheap, you know, £2 or £3 and you get 4 or 5 things in there, ever so easy to afford, and there's plenty of them about, and it makes it look neater, doesn't it? Much more presentable. So that's there. There's my little sleeping bag, some wet wipes, and my little spade. And the other reason for undoing it all was stitching time. That's coming out, so I'm going to be repairing that right now to get back to you. And the other little sort of modern addition I've done is in where the frame is. I've got a folding saw from a company in Devon called Axminster Tools. And that locking thing goes there, and you've got two locking positions, one there and one there. I prefer that one myself, but that's a real evil saw. I know Bacco's quite nice, but I think this was £13. Very handy. He does flex a bit, but with that extra long handle your hand isn't going to slip onto the blade, so I get on right with it. And it does catch your fingers, and it doesn't always go into the slot there. Sometimes it does foul up, so yeah, it's good, isn't it? Laplander I'd probably go with next time, because this is a little bit flexy, but once it goes down it can catch your fingers. Right, so I've took the frame out. I've opened that miniature source sleeve at the back, and I'm pressing through where the strap joins on into there. Through to there. I've had to empty the hood out, and then back through the same spot where it came through, which is there. Back over with the hood again. There it is. We'll see. For the hard men out there who can do it with their fingers alone, carry on. I'm going to use a multi-tool just to ease that thing through. I'll go whack a few more stitches through. It's my locking one, so I can adjust those. There he is. Where's he at? Ah, there he is. Through he goes. Then close it up and use the side of the jewels, push the back of the needle, and there we go. So I don't know, I'll put 20 stitches in there and get back when it's done. This is quite hard work then. I'm going through most of the strap without the packing in, and the material of the back as well as of the rucksack.